Okay, so picture this. A debate that stretches across 800 years. In one corner, you've got a 13th century saint, Thomas Aquinas, and in the other, a 20th century Nobel Prize-winning economist, Milton Friedman. Now I know, it sounds like a totally impossible matchup, right? But believe me, their disagreement gets to the very heart of the world we live in today.
And it all really boils down to this one single powerful question. What is an economy even for? Is its purpose to build a virtuous society, one that serves some kind of higher moral good? Or is it just about maximizing our own individual freedom and making our own lives better? Their answers couldn't be more different, and that tension, it defines pretty much everything around us.
So, let's set the stage for this duel of the centuries. First up, we have St. Thomas Aquinas. He's a theologian living in a world that is completely run by faith and the idea of a divine order. And his opponent, Milton Friedman, is a modern economist whose ideas were forged in the fires of the 20th century and the Cold War. Two brilliant minds, separated by an ocean of time, but both totally obsessed with the very same question: what is the moral way to live our economic lives?
This table really just lays out how fundamentally different their starting points are. I mean, look at this. Aquinas begins with theology, with God. His foundation is what's called natural law, this idea that there's a moral order built into the very fabric of the universe by God. And his ultimate goal? Human virtue and, well, salvation. Now, Friedman, he's coming from a completely different planet. He starts with neoclassical economics, using data and empirical analysis. His whole focus is on individual liberty and prosperity. This isn't just a small disagreement, you guys. It's a massive chasm between two totally different visions for humanity.
And to really, truly understand this clash, we've got to go even deeper. We have to look at their fundamental beliefs about what a human being actually is and what it really means to be free.
So for Aquinas, we're social beings first and foremost. We were created by God with a shared purpose, to pursue goodness and to contribute to the common good of our community. But for Friedman, he sees us as rational, self-interested individuals. In his view, society isn't some preordained divine order. It's just a collection of people, like you and me, all pursuing our own goals. And that one difference right there, it changes everything. Their ideas about freedom are also polar opposites. Aquinas believes in something called positive liberty. That's the freedom to do something, specifically to act virtuously. For him, real freedom isn't just doing whatever you feel like. It's about aligning your choices with reason and a higher moral purpose. Being a slave to your own greed isn't freedom. That's a kind of bondage. Friedman, on the other hand, is the champion of negative liberty, the freedom from being forced to do things. Nobody, and especially not the government, should be able to coerce you. For him, freedom is all about having the maximum number of choices possible.
Okay, so let's see where these two massive worldviews collide head-on. And there's no better place than the marketplace itself. The question is simple. What is something worth? What is a fair and just price?
For Aquinas, the key concept is the just price. Now, a price isn't just a number on a tag, it's a moral statement. It has to reflect the real cost and the labor that went into something. And it has to be fair enough to allow both the buyer and the seller to maintain their proper station in society. It's all about ensuring economic justice as part of God's divine plan.
And this idea of a just price fits perfectly into his larger framework. See, in his world, wealth is just a tool to help you live a good and virtuous life. It's not the goal itself. Greed, that's a serious sin. And charging interest, what they called usury back then, he saw that as deeply unnatural. The idea that money, which is just a tool for exchange, could somehow magically create more money all by itself, that didn't make sense. Every single economic action had to serve the entire community, the common good.
So, what's Friedman's response to all of this? Well, it's simple. It's direct. And honestly, it's an idea that completely reshaped the modern world. For him, the only fair price, the only just price, is whatever price two people freely agree to. End of story. You see, for Friedman, a price isn't a moral statement at all. It's an information system. It's a signal that tells you how scarce something is and how badly people want it. If a transaction is voluntary, then by definition, it's fair. Why? Because both people believe they're better off. Otherwise, they just wouldn't do it. So any attempt by a government or a church to step in and set a just price is not only a violation of freedom, it just messes up the whole system. And profit? Come on. Profit isn't a sin. It's the engine that drives innovation and prosperity for everyone.
And this brings us to the next major battleground between these two thinkers, the role of the government. What should its job be in our economic lives? Is it supposed to be a moral guide or just a guardian of the rules?
Aquinas imagines a very active state. Its whole purpose is to guide its citizens toward virtue and to protect that common good. And yeah, that includes regulating the economy to make sure prices are just. Friedman argues for the exact opposite, a minimal night watchman state. He sees government as an umpire. Its only job is to enforce contracts, protect private property, and then get the heck out of the way of individual choice.
So why does an 800-year-old debate still matter so much? Because we are living inside of it every single day. Seriously, every single discussion we have about the minimum wage, or corporate social responsibility, or environmental regulations, it's just an echo of this fundamental clash. It all comes down to the question, does the free market need a moral compass? Does it need a soul?
But what's really fascinating here is that they might actually solve each other's biggest problems. Think about it. Aquinas could offer Friedman's world a moral foundation, a way to check runaway greed and exploitation, and a powerful reminder that markets are supposed to serve people, not the other way around. And in return, Friedman could offer Aquinas' world a super efficient way to allocate resources, and a really important warning against letting any single moral authority get too powerful and start stamping out individual freedom.
You can almost hear them arguing, can't you? Their imagined dialogue really gets to the heart of it. Aquinas would ask Friedman, look, if a deal is voluntary, but it's still exploitative or not virtuous, can we really call it good? And Friedman would shoot right back, but if you use the government or theology to force people to be moral, then where is their freedom? When you really step back and look at the big picture, the intellectual journey from Aquinas to Friedman basically maps the entire story of the Western world. It's the story of a shift from a universe centered on divine order, on purpose, and on community to a universe centered on individual choice, personal freedom, and the amazing spontaneous order of the market.
Which, of course, leaves us with the big question for our time. There's no doubt we live in Friedman's world of market freedom. But his system never really answered Aquinas' question, did it? So the challenge for us right now is this. In the incredible, powerful freedom of the modern market, how do we rediscover a moral soul?